This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and let us see our next server today, which is NFS. NFS stands for Network File System, and the concept is network file sharing. So in FTP, we saw that we can only share files with FTP. Directories are not allowed to be uploaded or downloaded. But suppose if I have directories to be shared within my network, then what can I do? So in that scenario, we require to go with NFS. In fact, with NFS, there is no restriction that what type of data you can exchange. Anything, whatever you like, you can share. You just need to take one machine as a server, and on that server, you can take a partition and create a mount point with that, or a logical volume, whatever. You can format it and mount the data on some directory. Now this directory you need to export into the network. Now whatever you export into the network, all the clients can import it. So that directory which is available on remote machine will be mounted on client side directory. Normally you have a partition on same machine, you'll create a directory on same machine and you will mount it. So here what we do is, on server there is one directory which will be mounted by all the clients. So as a result of which, whatever you keep on the directory will be visible on all the clients at the same time. And whenever they add any data into client side directory, that data will be uploaded to server side location. When we see practically, it would be more clearer, right? So this is the way how NFS will work. From one side, we are going to share some important directory keeping the stuff, and it would be visible by all the clients at a time. So let us discuss the profile for NFS. The package required for NFS is NFS utils, and the service that must be always running is Nfs Server service, which consists of many important small services. Port number 2049, and the most important configuration file is etc exports. See, anything you are sharing with NFS, it must be kept in etc exports file, like what you are sharing, with whom you want to share. All that stuff we need to keep in etc exports. There are other important files: varlib, nfs, etab, varlib, nfs, rmtab, right? These are two important configuration file that stores information about what you have export and how many clients are accessing your NFS server. So let's log in into our machine and build an NFS server. So guys, I have powered on both the machine, what is needed for us. So 20 will be our server and 30 will be our client. So on the server side, I need to check whether NFS utils packages is installed or not. So if you just check it out, there is this package pre-installed. NFS utils is one of the basic package that comes pre-installed with Linux. So we don't have to install it separately. Step number 2, you can create a partition, or you can take a logical volume, format it, mount it, and then you can use it with NFS as per our requirements, right? Or what else we can do is to save some time. See, while you doing lab, you create a partition or LV, you format it, you mount it, make a permanent mount, then use it with NFS. In this scenario, to save some time, I'm simply going to create a directory with the name /NFS. Suppose here I have mounted a partition. After mounting the partition, you must give full access to this directory so that everyone can upload, download data inside it. So I'll say chmod 777/NFS. Now, if you just check it out, you'll find that the directory is having full access. All right. Now, step number 3 is you should go to that directory and add some data. Now, you can put some files, for example, NFS125, or you can put some directory. See, with NFS, there is no restriction like only files can be exchanged or only directories can be exchanged. You can put files also, or you can put directories also. There is no restriction with NFS that what kind of data you can share. Okay, all right. Now, step number 4, you need to go to the configuration file, etc exports. As I told you, anything you want to share with NFS, the information must be there in etc exports. So I'll go to etc exports. In etc export, we will put the information about what you are sharing and with whom you want to share it. So I'll say that I'm going to share a directory whose address is /NFS. Now, with whom you want to share? See, you can share it with one single client or you can share it with entire network. See, when we say server and client, we want to share it with entire network. So how to declare the entire network address? You have to say 192.168.10.0/24. Now this is the way I'm declaring 192.168.10 series as my client. That means any computer in 192.168.10 series can be my client. Anything 10.0 to 10.255. Now then I also need to give some information that would I like to share it with read-only access or read-write access. If I say read-only access, people can only download the data from your NFS. They cannot upload. If you want upload and download both, then you can give RW also. Followed by, I also need to add a permission called sync. See, sync means I don't want any delay whenever there are any activities going on in the directory. If server side any activity happened, immediately it should be seen on client. On client, if any activity happened, immediately it should be synchronized to server. That's how it should work. Now let me save and quit. Normally, guys, whenever we make any change in this file, to update those changes, we will use a command export fs-rv. Now, this command will reread etc exports. Whatever changes you have done will be exported into the network. But this command will only work if your services for NFS is running. So if you check systemctl status, Nfs server, you see service itself is inactive. So if service is inactive, 100 time you use it export fs, it is not going to make any change. See, it's like you have an air condition, you're trying to power it on, but there is no electricity at home. So what remote can do? Nothing. Same way, you're telling 100 time export fs, but there is no service running. So what export fs will do? Nothing. right? So let me start NFS service, systemctl enable now NFS server.service. Now if you check it out, your service is active and enabled. Lastly, you should never ever forget that you should also allow NFS through firewall. Otherwise, clients will not be able to reach out. So I need to say firewall CMD add service NFS permanent. And we need to say firewall CMD reload. Now you check it out, list all one more time. You will find out that NFS services have been granted access. Okay, all right. Now moving ahead, I would like to take a machine as a client, and from there I would like to reach out to server. Now there would be some problems on the client side, so let's discuss that troubleshooting part also. So I'm going to take 30 as my client, 20 is going to be our server, and 30 is going to be our client. Now on 30, we just need to check whether NFS utils package is installed. Yes, that's it. Nothing else to be done. See, previously till Red Hat 6, we also need to start services and all, but now there is nothing requirement as such. Just the package NFS utils must be installed. That's it. Now from the client, I would like to test NFS communication, whether client is reaching to server without any problem or not. To check NFS communication, guys, we have a command called show mount. Show mount is a special command with which we can see server is exporting what. So you can ask question that show me what you are exporting. To which server? To 192.168.10.20. So you see it says unable to create, unable to receive. That means there is some barrier in NFS communication. Whenever such problem comes, you should go back to server side, and on the server side, you need to check in firewall. There are two more services that must be allowed. One is Mount D service, which is again a communication service in NFS. And the other one is RPC bind. So RPC bind and mount. These are the two services that must be allowed in firewall. Otherwise, NFS communication will not work. These are called as communication services. So I need to add RPC bind and I need to add mount D. So let me go for it. I'll say firewall CMD add, or in fact I can say hyphen hyphen permanent and then add service. Which two services you want to add? I'll say I want to add mount D and I need to add RPC bind. See, whenever in firewall you want to allow two services, then this is the way you can deal with that. So it says successful. Now you reload the service. See, whenever we make changes in firewall, it is mandatory to reload the service. So you see, I have also granted Mount D. I have also granted RPC bind. See, these two services will allow smooth communication of NFS services. Now I'll go back to client, repeat the command, and you see it started to communicate properly. It says server is exporting NFS directory to all these clients, right? That's perfect. Just give me a moment's break, guys, just 1 minute. So as I was telling you, this is the way how we have to put this details. Now guys, from the client, I would like to connect to server side directory. So on the client, I need to create a directory anywhere with whatever name you like. I'm creating it with a name nfscl. Okay. Now server side, the directory is /nfs, and here I have created nfscl. Now what I need to do is, being on the client, I need to mount server side directory. So simple mounting concept is there. What we will do, we'll say mount. First of all, you just check it out. ls nfscl, it's an empty directory. Now I'll say mount, and this is not a normal mounting. So I'll say mount with a special type of file system NFS. What to mount? I'll say NFS to go to 192.168.10.20. In 10.20, there is a location /NFS that you should connect and mount it locally on NFSCL. So I'm telling mount command, use NFS file system, connect to this server and this directory, and mount it locally on my current location. Now, if you just go with mount, sorry, let's say mount tail, you'll find that 20 NFS is now connected to NFSCL, right? Now, if you just go into NFSCL, did you see guys all the data what we have created on server side? So all these files, all these directories, they are available on server side, but it is appearing on the client side as if it is its local directory. So this is what NFS would do. It mount the data and present as if it is locally available, although the data is kept on server. So if I go back to server, I'll go into NFS directory, and inside it I'll add some more data. For example, NFS 6, NFS 7, NFS 8. Three more files I have added. As soon as we add anything on the server side, on the client side, immediately you will be able to see same data. So it is working like a network drive, something which is available on other machine, but it is viewable on the client as if it is its local stuff. Now on the client, if I add some data, for example, I'll say touch CL1, CL2, CL3. Now do ls, it is appearing as if it is locally available, but actually this stuff is getting uploaded to server side. Did you see? So suppose if I have to take 30 servers backup, normally you have to take the backup and send the backup file to server. But in NFS, if I directly take the backup into NFS directory, then automatically the data will be uploaded to server side, right? So this is the way how NFS will be working. Now guys, this mounting what we have done on the client side, it's a temporary mount, isn't it? That means right now it is mounted, that's okay, but after reboot, we are going to lose it. That means again we need to mount after reboot. To make it a permanent mount, what else can be done? To make it a permanent mount, you should go to FS tab. So let me just unmount it for testing purpose. If I go back with mount and tail -5, you see NFS directory is not yet mounted. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to etc fs tab, and in fs tab I'm going to pass the entries. How? You need to say 192.168 10.20, that is our server. On 10.20, the address of the directory is /nfs. which should be mounted on NFSCL. And the type of file system, please do not type ext or xfs. As we are connecting with a special file system, we should mention NFS. Mount options, always defaults, no dumping, no FSCK. Now let me save and quit. See, last time it was not yet mounted. Now I'll run mount-a. Go back again with mount and tail. You'll find that 20 NFS is now connected to NFSCL. So that is the way how you can mount a particular NFS on your local directory. But guys, making a permanent mount, it might be good for client side, but it might create some issues for server side. Obviously, guys, we have learned that making a permanent mount is a good idea, and whenever you make a permanent mount, every time the system restart, automatically it will get mounted. So normally it's a proper idea to make a permanent mount. But in NFS, it might increase huge load on server, right? So in order to decrease that load, what we can do? First of all, I'll explain you how the load will increase. So suppose guys, I'm having an NFS server. On the server, we have a directory slash NFS, and we have granted many people access to it. So as a result of which, let us say that this is our 20 server. Now we have many other clients for NFS. Let us say 30 is a client, 40 is a client, 50 is a client, 60 is a client. Many clients are there. Now what clients will do, on the client side, one directory will be created and they'll make a permanent mount. See, when they make a permanent mount, always NFS server directory will be mounted to client, correct? The concept of permanent mount is like that only. Whether you need it or not, whether you are working inside it or not, permanent mount will always make sure that NFS server directory is always mounted on client side directory. Now it's like guys, you have a room in which you have turned on AC, you have turned on fan, you have turned on lights and all the things in that room. Now you are not present in that room, but still AC is running, lights are running, fan is running, right? So, and TV is running, for example. So do you like to do something like that? That whether you are in the room or not, whether you really need or not, will you be running all the appliances? Never. So same way here also the same thing happens, that when you make a permanent mount on client side, whether client needs it or not, whether client really working in that directory or not, mounting will be always done. To overcome this particular thing, what can be done, guys? See, permanent mounting is called as hard mounting. Hard mounting, permanent mounting, which will be always mounted. Now, when we talk about soft mounting, guys, there is one more mounting which is called as soft mounting, and the other word is auto mounting. So what is that auto mounting? See guys, auto mounting is also a type of permanent mounting, but it is very intelligent type of mounting. If you configure auto mounting, what happens is always NFS is not going to get mounted. It will be monitoring this directory on the client side. If someone goes into the client side directory, automatically mounting will happen. And if people leave the directory, no one is present inside it, nobody is using it, then automatically it is going to get disconnected. So when someone goes into the directory, mounting will happen. And when people leave the directory, nobody is using it, automatically it is going to get disconnected. So it's a permanent type of mounting only, but it is clever mounting, which is not keeping this server side directory always connected to client. It monitors it. When you goes inside it, mounting. When nobody is inside it, unmount. It's like we might have seen sensor-based lights. When you cross that sensor-based light, automatically the light will be on. And when you move away, after a time, it will be automatically off. So same way, auto mounting will be working. See, hard mounting is permanent mounting, which will be always mounted. Soft mounting is auto mounting that monitors the directory. Whoever goes inside it, automatically mounted. Nobody is using it, unmounted. So it's a clever type of mounting, right? Now there are two types of auto mounting, guys. One is direct auto mounting and the other one is indirect auto mounting. The most popular is direct one. So what is this direct auto mounting? Direct auto mounting is very straightforward. You have a client. We are talking about a client this time. Suppose I have a client 30 machine. Now 30 client is connecting to three server, maybe 10 is a server, 20 is a server, and 40 is a server. So if client is connecting to three servers, how many directories client should maintain? Three directories. One directory for 10 to mount, one directory to 20 to mount, and one directory 40 to mount, right? Three servers are there, three directories has to be maintained and managed. That's it, simple, right? So whenever I go into one directory, 10 will be mounted. Whenever I go to second directory, 20 will be mounted. Whenever I go to third directory, 30 or 40 will be mounted. So this is your direct auto mounting. We have one more, guys, which is indirect auto mounting. Indirect auto mounting is useful when you are connecting 5, 10, 15 servers at a time. For example, same scenario, I have client 30. Now this is connecting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 10, 20 servers. So let's say 10, 20, 40. So what happens in direct mounting is for each server I'm connecting, I need to create a directory and maintain. But in indirect mounting, we simply create one main directory, suppose NFS Inside it, if you want, you can create subdirectories, or if you have not created subdirectories, automatically auto mounting will create subdirectory. One directory for 10, one directory for 20, and one directory for 40. So all NFS servers will be mounted under one main directory. Now inside that main directory, all NFS connectivity will be happening. The subdirectories, if you want, you can create it, it will use it. Or if you have not created any subdirectory, automatically auto mounting will create a subdirectory and mount it. So when you are connecting just one or two clients, direct mounting is very, very popular. But when you are connecting a huge number of servers, then indirect mounting is used. But still, guys, direct mounting is very popular in market because it does not have any confusions. All the servers will be individually connected. Usually on production environment also we'll see 2 to 3 servers only might be there that we might be connecting on the client side, right? So direct mounting would be more than enough. But still, when you are going with a huge amount of servers to connect, then indirect mounting may be very useful. So let me show you guys how we are going to do this mounting. And one more thing, you have to be very, very clear that auto mounting will be done on client side, not on server side, because server will never know when someone is in the directory on client side and when someone is leaving the directory on client side. So server never knows that when mounting unmounting happens on client. It is client who will be mounting and unmounting. So auto mounting will also be configured on client. See, temporary mounting you are doing on client, permanent mounting you are doing on client, then auto mounting will also be done on client side, right? So what I'll do now is, first of all, if already NFS directory is mounted, I should unmount it. You see, it is mounted. When we are configuring auto mounting, there should not be any temporary mount, there should not be any permanent mount. So remove the entry what you have typed in FS tab. So let us go to FS tab and delete this line. Let me save and quit. Now I'll be installing a package that is required for auto mounting. So we'll install the package dnf install autofs-y. Autofs is a package that is required for configuring auto mounting. So as you can see that autofs is installed. Now as soon as autofs is installed, we should go to auto mounting config file. There is a config file, guys, etc auto.master. Now this file is the main auto mounting configuration file. Now here we should go to the bottom of the file, open a new line and put some details. See guys, if you are doing indirect mounting, then you should start by typing the mother directory address. You need to mention that which is the main directory, inside it subdirectories has to be created. So if you have a main directory already created, type the address. So when you type the address of mother directory, here all subdirectories will be created. But guys, I am not going to do indirect mounting. I want to do direct mounting. So when you are doing direct mounting, you don't have to give any mother directory address. You just need to say slash and hyphen. When you say slash and hyphen, it represents that you are doing direct mounting. There is no mother directory concept. Now after that, you should give server addresses, like how many servers you are going to connect from client side. So you need to mention all the server addresses and the directory location. Guys, if I have one, I can put simply the server IP address followed by uh, directory. But guys, I want to connect multiple servers. So what we will do, we will create one more file in etc with a name called auto.nfs. In fact, this name is not important. You can give anything, that auto or .nfs is not at all important. Only for understanding purpose, guys, I'm showing that auto nfs file I'm creating. Otherwise, you can use any name of your choice. So I'm telling the config file that in this file, I'll be keeping all the addresses of the server that should be mounted. So same name file we should create in etc folder. Lastly, I'll give hyphen hyphen timeout value. When I say timeout, we should give how much time you should wait before unmounting. Suppose nobody is present in the directory. I just did my work and everyone left the directory on the client side. So when we leave the directory, how much time you should want to wait before unmounting? If you give 1 second, then as soon as we leave the directory, it will unmount NFS. So I want to give 10 seconds so that every time people leave the directory, it should still wait for 10 seconds. People will come back or not. Within 10 seconds, if nobody comes into NFS directory, then I want to unmount it. Now this value you can reduce it or increase it as per your requirement. For testing purpose, 10 seconds is good. If you want very quick unmounting, you can give 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds as per your requirement. So main configuration is done. Now I will go and create this file etc auto.nfs. So let us go into etc and create auto.nfs. Now here you should start mentioning what is the directory address where you want to do auto mounting. See, if you have configured indirect auto mounting, then you just need to mention the subdirectory to search, or if it is not there, what to create. Suppose in main directory, I'll mention create cl1 directory. So what happens in indirect mounting is it will go to that main directory, search for cl1 name directory. If CL1 directory is already created, it will use it. If CL1 directory is not yet created, it creates a fresh directory and it will mount it. So under main directory, we are creating a subdirectory, right? So this directory will be automatically created. But in our case, guys, we are not going with indirect mounting. So you need to give full address where we are going to create a directory or where the directory is already created. So best thing is create a directory and give its address. So I already have a directory slash NFSCL. We created this directory. So I'm telling that whenever people go into NFSCL with read write permission, see even in FS tab we use defaults for permanent mounting. Defaults are what? Nothing but read and write access. So here also I'm telling whenever people enter into slash NFS CL with read write access, I should mount this server 192.168.10.20 colon NFS. So I'm telling as soon as I go into NFSCL with this permission, I should automatically connect to this server. So now as soon as you have mentioned this, as soon as we enter into this directory, it is going to connect to that server. The same way you can put all the server details that you want to configure auto mounting. So NFSCL 10.20, NFSCL 2 10.30 like that, all multiple servers will be configured. Now let me save and quit. So guys, all configurations are done. We need to start the services. I'll say systemctl status autofs. You see it is not running. So I'll say systemctl enable autofs now. So it will start the service and permanently enable the service. See, as soon as you start the service, as soon as you start the service, it is going to check auto mount file and it will mount it, right? If you go with mount tail, you'll find that it is started to mount. You just check it out. Auto NFS is now monitoring NFSCL. Now, as soon as I go into NFSCL, do ls. See, you went into the directory, automatically mounting happen. Just check it out, mount tail hyphen 5. You see, automatically 10.20 NFS is now connected to NFSCL. So as soon as I go into NFSCL, it is going to get connected to 10.20. Okay. Fine. Now if I leave it, what happens? Guys, to continuously monitor mount command, I need to run a loop and I will show you how it works. Normally what happens, guys, if mount command can work with watch, it would be better. So if I go with watch, you see it is not showing me tail hyphen phi output. I want to continuously see that how automatically it unmounts. So what I'll do is I'll run a script, a simple script. I'll say while true, do mount and tail command, tail hyphen phi. And after doing mounting, I would like to wait for 1 second. Then I would like to clear the screen. Okay, done. Why is it telling? Okay, tail hyphen 5 was not working. Fine, this command is working. So I'm already in the directory. Now let me leave the directory and I'll call my loop. So you see, as of now 10.20 is connected. I left the directory, guys. Now after 10 seconds, you see the behavior. See, as soon as 10 seconds happen, I did not go back to the directory. Nobody was using it. So it automatically got disconnected. One more time, you see, I will go into the directory. As of now, if I mount command, you will find that NFS is not yet mounted. Let me go to NFS CL and repeat the command. Automatically it mounted. As soon as we go into the directory, mounting will happen and you can check the data. But when you leave the directory and monitor it, you will find that 10.20 NFS is connected to NFS CL. But as soon as 10 seconds happen, I'm not inside the directory. It automatically got disconnected. So until unless someone is present in the directory, it will keep it mounted. When no one is using it, nobody is present inside it, then it is going to automatically unmount, right? So this is the way, guys, how we have to work with auto mounting concepts with NFS. Direct or indirect, that is your choice. But again, direct mounting is most preferable when compared to indirect mounting because it is straightforward, not confusing. In indirect mounting, there will be one mother directory containing all auto mounts inside it, right? So that's it, guys. This is the way we will be going with auto mounting and NFS. If you have any questions, guys, you can put your questions now. Okay, so we'll stop the session here, guys. Let's meet up tomorrow and see another important server. Thank you very much, guys. See you tomorrow.